See this logo?
The front camera. There.
Yeah.
Just do a little shimmy. You know I keep the bloopers in too, so if you shimmy, I'm going to keep that in there. Hey guys, Melina from the Fight Stalker Tour. I'm here with the photographer extraordinaire, William Liu. So if anyone hasn't seen his stuff, check out Rebellion's photos. He's done Siam to Sydney. What else do you do?
I'm going to forget this. You'll see me also from Power Play, Alpha Fight Series, Naksu, Hex MMA Fight Series, Warriors Way, Siam to Sydney, and recently Bola Super 8.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
That many shows, he needs a list.
I'm losing it now.
That's cool. So you're available to do, obviously, Siam to Sydney's in Sydney.
Yeah.
Like that. I don't know how I worked that out. So you can do interstate shows.
Yeah, definitely, for sure.
But have a look at his work because he's got a very distinctive look to his photos, and they're just amazing. I'm a little fangirl of Will's photos, so I'm so excited to be able to talk to you because I just thought it'd be really interesting for people to see from a photographer's perspective, you know, what it's like to be ringside and taking photos. So yeah, we're gonna have a bit of a chat with him and see what up.
Sweet.
So tell me first of all, when did you first start taking photos in combat sports?
My first show was probably, I started doing photos when I got injured training one time. I couldn't walk for like 2 or 3 weeks, and I figured I'll get the camera, play around. Started taking photos in the gym because I wanted to be active, be involved, and it went from there.
So were you already a photographer before
No.
this? Oh, so
Had
you were just
nothing
complete
at all.
amateur, just went, I hurt my leg, I might as well do something.
Complete novice. I had no experience, nothing at all.
Yeah, right.
It was all trial and error. A lot of trials, a lot of errors. And then gradually, as my gym had some fights, I sort of snuck in backstage, went to the corners. I was the water boy. I was sort of bringing things in and out, and at the same time taking photos.
Yeah, right.
And I think my first kind of shoot was, I got called up last minute for a MMA fight. And
To fight it.
To fight,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
So after I fought, went backstage, got the camera, came outside, began shooting.
Yeah, after like you've just fought, come out and you.
Yeah. So from there, it went on more practice in the gym. I was sneaking around other shows, and actually my first fight show was at the first Rebellion.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So what year was that you when you hurt your leg?
Start of 2010.
Wow.
No, sorry, 2011.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And it went from there towards the end of 2011. And then I think I got the call for Rebellion a week out.
Yeah.
Like, Si was a friend of a friend's.
Yeah, right.
And then it came out of nowhere.
Yeah, cool. And so when you picked up the camera, did you then study what you had to do, or did you kind of just play around with it and figure it out yourself?
I played around with it.
Yeah,
all
that's
thanks
cool.
to YouTube and just a lot of playing around, messing around,
Yeah.
seeing what works really.
Yeah. Wish I could do that. I play with settings and I'm like, that looks crap. That'll do.
It's a very daunting thing, you know, specifically doing just fight training or fight photos.
Yeah.
I was lucky to have a gym to sort of play around with and sort of practice with, knowing what a guy is, knowing the coaches. So it wasn't too daunting. But of course, coming in fresh, having no experience in the fight scene, you see big guys wearing tattoos, sakyans, you know, hitting pads, sparring. It's a bit crazy, but
Yeah.
if you know what they really like, it's easier to get better access and you get the more intimate shots that way.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And so when you after you fought and then took photos straight away, how was that feeling? You know, because after a fight you much adrenaline.
Yeah, there was a big dump of adrenaline. I couldn't tell whether it was that fight or just me being so excited to get ringside photos for the first time.
Yeah.
Because I knew if I was to get ringside photos, I'll know exactly what to look out for.
Yeah,
and also I just fought, so it was still very fresh in my mind.
Yeah, cool. And what about, I guess, with the first one that you did, how did you go with, not flinching or anything if anyone was kind of, I guess, if it was MMA, it was in a cage, yeah?
No. Melbourne was still in the ring.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we were very late with that. Trial and error. I got a lot of bruises on my forehead from getting hit by the ropes many times.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's funny. You just don't know these random,
Yeah.
or the imprint from the sponsor.
Exactly. My eye had so many bruises. And funny thing, like years down the track, I was fortunate to be at Hex MMA, the first cage event in Melbourne.
Yeah,
so I was there cage side when it first happened, so that was a really honour.
Yeah, that's cool. That's excellent. And you also, you were at the press conference, were you, for UFC?
Yes, that was it.
Yeah, how was that?
It was very fun. Kind of gave me an experience of what it was like to be at a large scale fight event. Yeah. I wasn't actually at the fights. I was just at the press conference. Yeah. But it was just crazy to see how the media worked from overseas, it sort of gave me a lot to work on and sort of motivated me to push even more.
Yeah, yeah. And how did you find the difference, I guess, with the with overseas media and UFC media compared to, obviously we have one photographer there and
They
not
were very
500.
very fast. There's no waiting a week or 2 weeks afterward. It's like as soon as you've done your photos, it's up right away.
Yeah,
it's
right.
all about what goes up.
Yeah,
And because I wasn't doing the fights, I knew whatever I captured that moment had to be up right away because no one's going to care about press photos afterwards.
yeah, true. Yeah, because once the fight's up,
Yeah.
it kind of overshadows it, doesn't it?
Exactly. Same as the weigh-in photos. When I do weigh-in photos, I want to make sure that's up right away because no one cares about guys and jocks after the fights. It's all about the fight.
Unless you're a girl.
Yeah, of course.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So when you do, take us through that process. So when you'll be at a weigh-in,
Yep.
you'll take the photos. Then what's your process from there?
As soon as I do the weigh-ins, I want to make sure I promote the fight properly. If there's any pullouts, I'll make sure I announce that or whatever. I want to make sure the fight's out for the fans to see, whether in my state or in Australia or overseas. I help share it from my page, share it through the promotions page, making sure all the fighters are there. And then afterwards, I rest and then focus on the fights for the next day.
Yeah, right. So how long do you normally spend editing the photos, or the weigh-ins don't require that much editing?
Weigh-ins are pretty simple. I
Yeah.
try and set up pretty well, making sure things are
Ready to
consistent,
go. Yeah.
making sure, guys have the shorts ready, the portraits are nice and done, and then that's it.
Yeah.
I'd say about an hour to 2 hours.
Yeah. Okay. And so then you've got. So what time a weigh-in might finish at, like, say 7 or 8 o'clock? So
Unless guys miss weight.
and then you got to hang around.
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
I've been to weigh-ins where weigh-ins are meant to start at 7 p.m. You're there till like 9 p.m. or whatever.
See what happens if you miss weight? Look at the people you're inconveniencing here. And then you go to the fights, and then how long's that process then once you've taken the photos and have to edit those?
Well, a standard night for me, let's say a fight show starts at, doors open, let's say 5 p.m., fights at 6 p.m. I'll be there ringside till the last fight.
Yep.
So let's say 11, 12.
Yeah.
I'd go home. I'd do the highlights, might be another hour or two. Probably get to bed by like 2 a.m. And that's just the highlights.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
So that's just showing like the I guess the best of each fight. Do you do every fight with highlights, or mainly just
usually
the
the
main
main fights, but I'll try and give the results for most fights. I'll learn my lesson over the years. If I don't post any fights, I'm gonna get hassled all over Facebook, Instagram,
right.
emails, phone messages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then how long do you normally do, like, turn around for people who want their fight photos?
Usually in about a few days, so about midweek.
Bloody hell, that's like working flat out the whole time on it.
It's pretty much is. But the thing is, when I first started out, I was so eager to be ringside. I was younger too, so I wasn't working.
Yeah, right.
After a fight show at 12 a.m., come home, I'd finish all of it by 5 a.m., 6 a.m.,
Yeah.
and then sleep in.
And now you've got an adult.
Yeah, I'm kind of grown up now, so I need my rest. I need to look after my body.
Yeah, that's cool. And so what about, what feeling do you get when you are ringside?
When I first started, it was very nerve-wracking. It's like, I can't believe someone actually paid me to do this. I can't stuff up. I'm the only one here.
Yeah.
It was fun. I got to experiment a lot back then when I first started out, playing around, trying to be different, make my style. Now it's a bit harder because people expect certain shots.
Yeah, right.
There's always the set shots that you see, like your entrance, your wide crews, your corner shots, action shots, backstage shots, winners shots, sponsor shots. So it's hard to do all that as well as being creative and sort of being different from your last show.
Yeah,
Whereas
right.
when you first started out and you weren't being paid, you could do whatever you want.
That's
there
it,
was no pressure on you.
Yeah.
Whereas when there's pressure on you, it's hard to be relaxed when there's so much stress going on.
Yeah, yeah. And how do you find, like, trying to get that perfect shot, or not perfect shot, but, you seem to be able to capture moments, like awesome moments in fights, which is, it's so good that you get it
It's
timing,
all practice. Like, for every one nice kick I get, there's like 1,000 shots I don't post up for a reason. It's all in the archives. No one will see that.
Yeah. And do you keep those photos still?
I keep them because I'll do a lot of design work too.
Yeah.
Promotional work, marketing work. So if some photos I don't feel suits an album, I'll use that for a poster work or some kind of design.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And what about, like, with the design work you're doing, because you do all the posters and stuff like that too, yeah? How do you make sure you're keeping, like, because your posters always come out, they are something fresh. Like, how do you keep on top of that?
That's a very good question.
You're just naturally creative.
You do a lot of posters. After a while, it gets the same guy doing the same kick, the same Y crew. You just try and look at other people's work. You try and get inspiration from reading books or just
Yeah, right.
browsing the web.
Yeah.
Having an open mind as well.
Yeah.
It gets kind of stale doing the same thing over and over again. So every now and then I take a step back, switch off for a week or two, and then just try and get refreshed.
Yeah, cool.
It's handy having having like a majority of the photos too.
Yeah,
Action
right.
shots, portrait shots. So when I want to do matchups, it's very easy, very handy just to
Yeah,
take
true.
it from there. I mean, you've been there before.
Yeah.
Getting photos from fighters, having phone photos and having
Yeah.
really really bad crappy photos.
I still have that problem now. We need a will in every state. And what about, so you've done a lot of shoots at gyms too,
Yeah.
at other gyms. How do you find, do the gyms tell you what you need to do, or you just know what they want?
I'm at a stage now where I can sort of do my own thing and play around in experiments, and they seem to be happy with that.
Yeah.
Because I know how important training is. I rarely do I interrupt training sessions. I sort of let the training session happen as it is. So fight team training, class sessions, and I'm just sort of wandering around, doing my own thing, trying to capture things as they are.
Yeah.
Because I find a moment I sort of step in and dictate things, it looks very fake,
Yeah.
and that's not my thing.
And people always do that. Hey, they look at the camera, or
Exactly. My thing is just be very discreet and just capture things the way that things are.
Do you wear like camo gear and like coral energy?
Yeah,
so
I
no
try
one
to.
can see you?
That's why it shows. You see me wearing black. I try and blend in.
Yeah. And so can people get you to come to different states to take their gym photos?
Definitely, that's my thing.
I think every state should do that.
I'm here.
Petition for Will to come to your state.
Road trip.
Yeah, and he'll take photos. Yeah, cool.
Usually depends on what shows I have in Melbourne, but yeah, I'm always up for traveling interstate or overseas. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So a promoter can just fly up and get you to take their show photos and...
Yeah, same package. Either get there for the weigh-ins or the show, and the same deal.
Yeah.
I'll provide order photos the following week, and that's all yours to keep.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
And so I'll throw some some of the photos some of my favorite ones, not of me. He does some really good venue photos, gym photos as well. And obviously when you can do like your fight profile photos, and as you said, weigh in and the fight itself, action shots.
Yeah.
Action shots. So I'll chuck a link in there. Where can they get to you?
You can just get to me through my Facebook page, WL Fight Photography.
Yep. Yeah, cool. And people
It's
can
all
order their
there.
photos there as well.
Yeah,
and
for sure. Give me a message and I'll reply to you.
Will not.
Or
Get it? Will not.
Will not.
Ah, that's my second dad joke.
Second one.
I'm holding it together.
Doing good so far.
Yeah, cool. So if you guys do want to get Will into your gym or at your fight show, hit him up on Facebook. It's well worth it. The quality of your photos are just top notch. So I love it. So what about how do you feel when you are ringside and the energy, or there's blood flying at you and alert on my phone. I'm meant to be in Muay Thai training. Like the energy in the crowd and everything. Does any of that affect you when you are taking photos? Or are you kind of in the zone?
I am in the zone too, but sometimes you do get swayed by the audiences and trainers. Oftentimes you do hear things from the corners like say, oh, go for a head kick or go for the low kicks, and then you go for that. And sometimes it has helped too. Like there's been times I've heard high kicks from the corners, I look for the high kick and bang,
Yeah.
the head kick comes and knockout comes.
Yeah, right. So you're already ready to do it.
Yeah.
Well, that's helpful.
And it's all about context too. I want to try and capture a story. Everyone can do, a head kick knockout, but I want to sort of capture a story in there too. So I want to capture the referee stopping the fight,
Yeah.
the fighter on the floor, the victor walking away, the trainer jumping in joy, the crowd cheering, the whole scene. What you see in a fight show, that's what I try and capture in a photo.
Yeah, that's cool. You did that book series too. Tell us a bit about that.
It was a little project I did when I had some more spare time. Pretty much putting together my highlights over the years. Every 2-3 years, I put some highlights together of the fights, of portraits and whatnot, put into a book, and it's available online.
Yeah, what's it called?
Will Louis photo book.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, what was the other one? Oh, that was the Way of the Fighter. Was that what?
Oh no, that's something else. That's another project that I put off for a few years now.
Yeah. That was really cool. Hey, like, tell us a bit about what you did with that. People that haven't seen it.
Basically, I've been taking a lot of photos of guys for years, and I felt like I want to sort of depict more of a story. So I contacted some people, asked them what they were feeling in the particular moment in the fight. I sent them a photo, and they just gave me a caption, and I sort of superimposed that into the picture, and it sort of gave the audience a better idea of what someone was going through a fight. So whether it be how they were feeling in that moment, or how they were going to overcome, certain parts of the fight. And I had a nice picture to sort of go with that too.
Yeah, that's cool. I liked it. It was really good the way. I don't know if you guys want to check it out. You've got a Facebook page.
Yeah,
for
I
that,
do.
don't
It's
you?
called Way of the Fighter.
Yeah, Wave the Fighter. Check that out because it's really
I should
cool.
bring it back up.
Yeah, no, I love it. It's just good because, like you just said, it was great to hear from the fighters. What they were thinking at the time when they're in that photo, and and for up and coming fighters to know that professional fighters still go through the same trials and tribulations that anyone else does. So
I'm a very curious person, so it's always been lingering in my mind. So I thought, why not, showcase that to people to see as well.
Yeah, awesome. And what about you've got? I've seen some of those photos you're doing with the GoPro on top of your.
Oh yeah,
camera.
that was fun. That's the whole reason I got a GoPro. It was mainly to see how I shot photos myself. So I put it over my camera and capture things ringside, so I can sort of see what I'm looking out for. It also gave, my fans an idea of what happens in a fight show. They think, oh, he must be very, very close or whatever. But I know I'm pretty far away. I'm just very timely of how I capture my shots.
Yeah. And how many times have you gotten splattered with blood?
Countless times.
Do you have a little kit there to?
I do have a kit. Yeah. Well, I'll try and sit close to the doctor, so if anything happens, I get his kit and tissues and wet wipes. That's the main thing.
Wet wipes. Yeah. A staple.
Exactly. And after a show, I shower right away.
Funny. And what about, tell us a bit, like, what's something you feel like you've learned in the whole time you've been ringside about, what you've experienced with the fighters and, even the judges, referees?
Yeah. Not sure what I'm going to say about that, but it's nice seeing guys come through the ranks, seeing guys having the first fights with shin pads, headgear, having the first pro bout, having the title fight, and then up to their retirement fights. It's nice seeing them progress and also becoming trainers afterwards. So I just reckon, the whole progression of things it's very nice in our sport.
Yeah.
Especially in Muay Thai, you see the progression from fighter, trainer, gym owner.
Yeah.
Corner. It's nice. And seeing role reversals. It's like every weekend is a fight show. You see someone fighting, next weekend they're cornering, another weekend they're cornering someone else. It's nice seeing that nice team aspect.
Yeah. Oh, excellent. Do you get much insight into like the judging and refereeing side of things too? Like do you see?
Not really. I try and stay out of that part.
Yeah, like you can't really hear.
No, not at all.
Any of that?
I'm very cautious of that because when I first sat ringside, a lot of judges were very weary about me. It's common because you want to be ringside, and I try and be in a center. I'm not in a corner. Try and have that center position, and oftentimes there's a judge next to me. So it's hard coming to a new sport and then thinking who's a stranger next to me. They must sway the fight. So I try and be friendly with everyone. I get to a point now where they know I won't get in the way. They know I won't sway the fight in any way.
Yeah, you're not going to get in there and go yourself.
Exactly.
Tell us a bit about your background in training and fighting, and what you're doing now and what you did in the past.
In the past, I started fighting in MMA.
Yep.
Had a few fights in MMA, in Muay Thai, in grappling.
Yep.
Got some injuries, took a break from that, began training, and now these days I train just for overall fitness and I train to stay sharp and just sort of stay active in the sport.
Yeah. So no plans to fight again or anything?
No, probably not.
Too busy now.
Oh, old age, I guess.
I hear you. What do you do outside of taking photos at photos? Oh, good photos. The photos at the fight shows.
I'm a graphic designer, so that takes up a lot of my time.
Yep.
So that's a Monday to Friday job, and then I fit in my training, social life photos, and fight stuff at nighttime.
Yep.
And weekends too.
And cats. Fellow cat lover here. So, and what about the gym that you're at? Where are you based?
It's Nemesis Martial Arts.
Yep.
I'm trained by Dennis Kelly and Phil Lai.
Yep.
Phil is my Muay Thai coach. Dennis is my BJJ and MMA coach.
Yeah,
and it was through them that got me the way into fight sports. When our boys were having fights, I sort of snuck in the corners, checking out other guys fighting and doing my own thing.
Yeah, right. Yeah, cool. And what's your I guess vision for yourself? For do you want to be a photographer full time or?
I'd love to. If I could, I'd love to. I really enjoy doing fight sports. I really enjoy being active and giving back into the fight scene too. So if I could do it full time, I'd love to.
What would it take for you to have to do it full time? Do you think?
I got no idea. Yeah,
Get on more shows or
probably more
gyms?
exposure in Australia and hopefully travel overseas as well.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you looked into that pathway of what you can do to get overseas and
Little bit. I've got some contacts here and there. I haven't
Yeah.
really reached out yet, but
what do you know what you got to do? Just got to get on to different shows and what you've got to fly yourself over there, do you? And,
that part I'm not sure yet.
yeah,
Yeah.
right. Yeah,
Who knows?
that'd be cool.
Yeah, I'd love to.
Yeah, travel the world and take photos of
Life.
fight stuff.
I figured if I can't be a great fighter, I'm just gonna help capture moments ringside and sort of give back to the fights. Because when I was fighting, there was no one to take photos of me ringside or backstage or
Yeah.
whatever. So I felt like that was a missing market. So that's when I jumped in,
Yeah,
and I was very fortunate at the time. When I jumped in, Melbourne was pretty booming with MMA shows, kickboxing shows, Muay Thai shows, and I just got in at the right time.
and what about with all the editing of your photos?
Yeah.
How do you was that self taught as well, or did you?
Self-taught, yeah. I want to create my own look and get that nice dramatic look in fight photos that you don't really see anywhere else.
No, for sure. You've definitely got that, like your own style to it, which you can tell when it's your photo straight away. You know, it's just so sharp.
It's working then. That's my goal.
Yeah, well, that's it. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
And a lot of guys, they put massive watermarks over the photos. I used to do it at the start, but then I figured if guys are going to, take your photos, crop your photos, they'll do it anyway.
Yeah,
So I just wanted to make a distinctive look for my photos, put my watermark and the promotions watermark on the bottom.
yeah.
After a while, people recognize my work.
Exactly. And like even now, like I was one of these people, but as soon as I knew I was fighting down in Melbourne, I knew you were going to be there taking the photos. I was like, oh, quick, I'm going to put makeup on. And yeah, I ended up booking what do you call a portrait session
Right.
with you as well. And
Yep.
because I thought
That
if I'm
was
going to be
fun.
down here, I might as well get it done because I
You
just
were the
love
first
look at
person,
your
by the way.
photos. Oh, was I?
Yeah.
I was a test dummy. Yeah. I didn't know that. I thought
Yeah.
you'd done that before. You were so professional at it.
Fake it till you make it.
Good
Yeah.
one.
And another thing, like having a massive watermark over the photo sort of takes away from the art itself.
Yeah.
I'm trying to promote Muay Thai, promote fight sports. Having that just takes it away. So I figured, take it off and just put your little name on the bottom.
Yeah.
And that will do.
That's it. And I feel like, that makes you kind of want the photo more anyway because, you can see it for what it is rather than,
Yeah.
like you said, having that big splashed watermark. You can't really see the quality of the photo or, what you've actually captured.
Exactly. I mean, if someone's going to take it, they'll take it anyway.
Yeah, that's it. Do you have any issues with copywriting and stuff like that?
In the past, I've just become more civil about that,
Yeah.
but it's been okay.
Yeah. People are very receptive to that. I think people understand a little bit more, don't they, that
Yeah.
you can't just, well, some people maybe.
Some people, yeah.
And another question I wanted to ask you was, so like, how do you, I'm so crap at taking photos and like my camera, I try to put it on settings, but I don't read books either. What do you do to get up that good shot?
Most people would think it's a camera, but a lot of it's more so it's just experience and also understanding the fight itself. If you're a martial artist or a fighter, you'll have a better understanding of what to look out for, where to be. A lot of it's being at the right place at the right time. Usually the best place to be is center on in the ring. That way you sort of get the best of the red corner, blue corner. You're not being too biased.
Yeah.
Oftentimes, if you're stuck being in one corner, you might get more of one person than the other person. It's all about context, really. If you want to capture a nice kick, you want to show all that's in a kick. You want to show the nice pivoting of the feet. You want to show the whole body. Ideally, you want to see the faces. It's no good showing someone land a kick, but then their hands covering the face because you don't know who it is. It's really hard to tell.
Yeah.
Same goes for throwing punches or knees or whatever. You throw a nice technique, but let's say their face is covered. No one will know who they are. So you got to sort of work your angles to make sure you're capturing a nice technique, but also showing the fighter themselves.
Do you just tell them like mid-fight? Be like,
your hands
move
down.
your hand. Put your hands down. Everyone else is like, hands up. You're like, I'm not getting the
I
shot.
wish. Yeah.
And do you have to move around the ring?
I'll try not to.
Yeah, right. So
I'll,
you get one spot and you kind of stay there.
Yeah, I'll stick to it. I'd rather be in one spot and work with what I have than move around in that time, miss shots or miss whatever.
Yeah, right. And do you ever find that seeing the same fighters fight all the time that you know particular things they're going to do?
Definitely.
Yeah, right.
Definitely, yeah.
That's
Same
cool.
as seeing someone grow over time. You sort of recognize their strengths, whether it be a kicker, clincher, a boxer, or grappler. You sort of know what to look out for, and you sort of prepare yourself.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite fighter that you like to photograph?
Oh, I can't be too biased. I like it. I like everyone.
No favorites here.
No favorites here.
And what's been, I guess, your most standout kind of highlight photo shoot you've done or show you've done?
Probably two of them. Once was when I was meeting Borkow.
Yep.
It was a seminar made by Mark the Hammer.
Yep.
I was lucky to be taking photos of Borkow rings at the seminar, and I was super, super nervous. I tried to play it cool, like what I said to you, just fake it till you make it. Pretend like you know what you're doing, having your camera, got a few portraits, and I was stoked.
Yeah, he's a nice guy, hey?
Yeah, and also being ringside at Power Play at Wayne Parr versus Toby Smith, that was a very big fight for me. One of the few fights when it first happened, it was silent.
Yeah,
I
right.
couldn't hear anything. It was just the fight itself, and I was the only one ringside there, so I said to myself, I couldn't mess up.
Yeah, right. How did that whole thing play out for, I guess, your photos and for you after that? Like, did you get a lot of recognition for it?
A little bit. I was just doing what I normally did. I think for the first minute, I was so nervous. I was too tense. Yeah.
Yeah. And what about, have you ever had photos where you've the fight's been over really quickly and you've not taken enough photos because it's like over already, or you start shooting from?
Yeah, sometimes that's the thing. When you have a fight that you think might not last a distance, you would overshoot in the first round, making sure you have enough of both fighters. That way, it won't look too one-sided.
Yeah,
that's my thing.
Yeah,
it's never to post photos that's too biased.
Yeah,
you want to sort of get a nice even amount of both people.
Yeah. And with your weigh-in photos that you take, do you come up with what you want the fighters to do there, or is that the promoter that tells you what he wants?
That's a very good question. I never thought about that.
Because you always seem to do. Well, I know when you took some about at our weigh-in,
yeah,
you had the set like kind of poses that you wanted us to do, and I've never had a photographer.
Oh, really?
Kind of sit there but you did it very like specifically rather than sort of just taking a few of the photo because you got us individually and then.
Yeah.
Did you have a plan in your mind for that, or was it?
I'm not sure really. It just happened.
Yeah, right.
Well, I think I had a plan at the start, but over the past few years, it sort of just became natural to me.
Yeah.
I mean, I know guys at weigh-ins, they're dehydrated, they're cranky, they miss weight, they're even more crankier. So you want to sort of be very efficient with your photos.
Yeah.
There was one weigh-in when I was asking them to do kicks and knees and stuff like that, and I wondered why can't they throw good kicks, and then I realized,
Yeah, right. I never would have thought about that either. Yeah, because everyone's like, oh god.
Exactly. I try and be very efficient. So as soon as they make weight, they face me, they face off, and that's it. I want to get them out so they can rehydrate and get healthy.
Yeah.
There's no point making them stand there for a long time doing all these poses when they're not in the right state of mind.
Yeah. And what's the difference in shooting between, say, like the Boa show and Rebellion? Like, are the kind of subjects harder to?
Oh, definitely. With Boa, with a grappling event, you really have to have an understanding of mixed martial arts or Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. There's a lot of different techniques going on. There's a lot of awkward situations on the floor where if you don't know what's going on, you're going to capture something really, really awkward or something really...
Someone straddling someone's face.
Exactly. You just got to have a good understanding of the sport, whether it be boxing, Muay Thai, mixed martial arts, Jiu-Jitsu. Learn the sport, know what the techniques are, and know when something's going to happen and just be ready for it.
Ever had a disaster happen in the photos? Like lost a whole show or...
No, touch wood, never happened yet.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
You're very diligent with what you do.
I have deleted some nice photos before on my camera because I was just too twitchy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, can you just do the fight again?
Yeah.
Do that move again. And what's do you think is your best photo that you've taken? What's your favourite? Not biased, but
I can't say best because if I say it's my best photo, it's gonna be on a pedestal. So I just take them as I go.
Yeah.
If I was to say my favorite photos, any photos of a nice kick, that lands, and you can see both fighters, no referees in the way, no fans in the way, just nice and just dead center on.
Yeah. So head kicks are
Yeah.
More head kicks.
That's my favorite. Or flying kicks as well.
Yeah. Anything else you want to tell people, or anyone you want to thank?
Just every promoter, every fighter, gym trainer that's had me down, worked with them. It's been a pleasure. I couldn't do it without you guys. Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. Well, thank you very much for your time, and we look forward to seeing. Oh, that's what I wanted to ask you. What have you got coming up? Where can people see you next? See you ringside next.
This week, last week I was match side at Boa Super 8. This week I'll be cage side at Hex Fight Series. Next week I'll be in Sydney, ringside again for Sian to Sydney. So catch you there.
Yeah, that's traveling around. That's some fight shows. We'll get you in Queensland. There's like a show every weekend.
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
Never leave. Awesome. Well, thanks so much for the chat.
Thank you.